With 9 senior list spots still yet to be filled for St Kilda in 2025, there's a real chance that St Kilda could look to either trade up, down, or into the 2024 AFL Draft with a future round selection. Obviously, we have picks 7 and 8 currently. Could we look to trade them to other clubs in order to grab more picks? I've made a few quick scenarios here to show you what we could do, some mock trades, and to show you the players that we could look to draft here with a quick little mock draft surrounded around those picks. For the first scenario, and I think, this is still a pretty likely option. I don't think we'd be the favourites to land this pick, but I'd say we're probably second favourites behind Richmond, and that's to trade up to pick 2 with North Melbourne. We could look to trade a future first and package either 7 or 8 in order to grab pick 2 from North Melbourne. I think that's definitely an option. A couple reasons as to why: it guarantees us one of Sam Layla or Finn O'Sullivan. In my opinion, they're the 2 best players in this draft, both very speedy, both add to a midfield need that we've been looking to add for years. Both would fit into our midfield great. It also allows us at pick 7 or 8, whichever one we do get to keep, is to draft one of those big body midfielders in a Josh Smiley or a Harvey Langford. One of them will most likely fall a bit in the draft, and I don't see us grabbing both, so I think capitalizing by trading up here is what we need. We're able to grab a speedy midfielder in Layla or O'Sullivan, and grab Smiley or Langford with pick 7 or 8. In this scenario, I've got Richmond at pick 1 grabbing O'Sullivan. That leaves us with Sam Layla at pick 2, and then with pick 8, I have us grabbing Josh Smiley. Another reason why we do it is that North Melbourne don't need midfield talent. They've got an abundance of midfielders already. They've drafted really hard. They've drafted a lot of midfielders for the past couple of years now, and they really need to start grabbing some key position talent. In a game like AFL, you don't want to add too much to a position because you can't play them all. They'll be playing in the VFL. So you got to grab they could grab a Taru and Armstrong here. In this scenario, I have them grabbing a Taru. The last reason I really have is that next year we're going to be really unlikely to hit the draft. It's a very, what's the word for it? It's a very compromised draft. There's a lot of father-sons, there's a lot of academy players up at the top end of the draft, and sort of our draft plan for the past 4 years was to hit the draft pretty hard, and we've definitely done that with our last 4 drafting years, and we're going to look to hit free agency pretty hard next year. So Luke Davies-Uniacke, Andrew Brayshaw, Tom De Koning, all players we've been linked with, they're all free agents next year, so we have a chance at grabbing them. Also, players like Finn Callahan have been linked to us. We're going to want to grab them if they do decide to want to come to St Kilda, and we're not really going to need that first round pick, I believe, so I think it's definitely likely we're going to trade up into the draft with that future first. For scenario 2, I've got us trading down this time. I've got us trading pick 8 to GWS for pick 15 and 16. GWS are a team that's been looking to trade up into this draft class, grab their guys. And for St Kilda, we really need to add more first round talent to a list that desperately needs it, and this is the stack draft. This is definitely the draft class to do it. Walk away with 3 first round picks, and in this scenario we still keep our future first, so we could even look to trade into the draft again if we really wanted to. And then sort of the reasoning is, if we get to pick 7 and maybe all the A grade mids are off the board, we can definitely still grab one at 7. I think there's enough. And even if there is 1 or 2, so say it's like Josh Smiley and Harvey Langford, we're not going to want to draft those 2 big bodied midfielders. I think similar types, we definitely want to grab a player of difference in that midfield. So I think it's definitely likely we trade down. So I'd have the mock draft, I have it sort of going so you'd have Finn O'Sullivan at pick 1 to Richmond, Sam Layla following him at pick 2 to Richmond. In this scenario, I've got North Melbourne trading down with Richmond here. It just makes it flow easier because I think that trade will get done if we don't trade for it. Sid Draper to Carlton, Jagger Smith to Adelaide, Harvey Langford to Melbourne, Alex Taru at pick 6 to North. Pick 7, I have us grabbing Josh Smiley, so that big-bodied midfielder, and then pick 8, Toby Travaglia to GWS, Harry Armstrong to Melbourne, Job Shanahan to North Melbourne. Then Murphy Reed to Richmond, Bo Allen to West Coast. Port Adelaide grabbed Joe Berry, Taj Houghton to Freo, and then St Kilda grabbed Xavier Lindsay and Luke Trainer. So we still grabbed 2 midfielders in this draft, and then we also grab a key position player. So Trainer, probably you wouldn't expect him to replace Battle or be as good as Battle next year, but he's definitely one that could play that role and be that sort of Battle replacement for us, and it allows us to, just implement that first round talent that we really need into our list. For scenario 3, I've actually got us trading up into the draft now with a future first round pick. It could be any club. For the club I've chosen here, it's Freo. As for them, they definitely want Chad Warner. This is a widely reported thing. They're going to want first round picks for Chad Warner. Trading them our future first round pick for pick 14, it allows Fremantle to have 2 first round picks in 2025. They'll have their future first in 2026 to deal with, and then next year future pick trading will come in, so they'll have a future first in 2027 to trade as well. So that gives them 4 first round picks to package up to Sydney for Chad Warner if he does choose to go there. As for the draft, I've got the top 7 picks staying the same, so we grab Josh Smiley with pick 7. And then now that we've got that mid-round pick from Freo, I've actually got us taking key position player Harry Armstrong with pick 8. This could be a bit of a reach, but I think now that we know we're going to be able to grab one of those sort of, they're not B-grade midfielders, but that sort of second tier midfielders, so I guess they sort of are B-grade midfielders, but now that we know we can still grab that midfielder with pick 14 now, I think we could look to take a Harry Armstrong or a Alex Tauru if they're there at that pick. And then with pick 14, I'd have us grabbing Xavier Lindsay, Gippsland Power Boy. Definitely been linked to him a fair bit this year, and I think he'd be a pretty great fit throughout our midfield. But yeah, so in this scenario, I would walk away with Josh Smiley, Harry Armstrong, and Xavier Lindsay. As for scenario 4, I just thought I'd throw this in there. I haven't mocked any trades, but we're definitely going to be looking to either trade into this draft with our future 2nd, 3rd, or 4th round selections, or we could slide down the board with our 2nd and 3rd round selections, because we're going to need draft points to match either 2 bids for Adrian Cole and Lennox Hoffman, and potentially 3 bids if Elwood Pickett gets bid on. So yeah, we're definitely going to need to add more draft points, because I think we are going to look to hit the draft for those 2nd and 3rd round selections. And obviously, we want 2nd round talent. Adrian Cole and Lennox Hoffman, they probably don't get bid on before any of our picks. I think with our last pick being at 47, Adrian Cole might get a bid before 47. But I think it's definitely a real opportunity that we trade down or trade into this draft for extra draft capital. That's going to be it for the video today, guys. Let me know what you thought of these trade scenarios, if you thought they were realistic. I thought they were pretty realistic for what they were. I don't think there was anything too crazy. For pick 2, obviously we've been linked to that a fair bit. Probably the most unrealistic option is the Fremantle pick, but even then, I thought the reason was pretty justified, and I'm not really sure if there's any players around there that Fremantle would really need to add to their list. Obviously, I think they've got a pretty good young core. Yeah, let me know what you guys thought. Give me some of your trade scenarios in the comments, and I'll see you all in the next video.